tubes and interact around a new water source. Wow, okay. Now, I don't measure about anything. I'm 1 meters 83, and I'm still above this. Ideally, I think we want about 2 meters depth at our deepest point. But what's essential is going to be the slope like this, because a lot of animals are not going to literally go in. That's going to be our wallowers, our, elephant, our buffalo, our warthog. I think many of the ungulates are going to come to the edge here, stand on that edge and sip. And certainly all of the bathing animals are going to be in this zone. So the shallow part of the waterhole is going to be equally important. It's going to be fascinating. I honestly think that we're going to see an enormous diversity of species coming to this waterhole.
We've got our team monitoring these cameras 24/7. Those strange triangular structures, those are so that the elephants hopefully won't step on the cameras and damage them.
As Ella says, it's 24/7. We're watching them throughout the course of the day and the night using infrared. And of course, we're also watching this waterhole from the air. We've got a drone up at the moment. And there you can see, from mission control, it's about 200 meters across this parched grassland down to our waterhole complex here. A tunnel leads into our hide so that we can sneak in without the animals seeing us. And we've got the 2 pools either side here.
For our first 2-week filming window, I will be attempting to collate data for every just water that is in short supply.
Look at it. It's absolutely parched. Imagine trying to eke a living eating something like this. I mean, there must be nutrients there, but trying to firstly digest it and then process it. Thankfully, there is some evergreen foliage left here. This acacia, look at this, looks relatively lush and green, but it comes with a cost, protected by these vicious spikes, of course. Again, not all of those herbivores are going to be able to nibble this. And then lastly, there is something that makes this environment very, very hostile at this time of year, not just for all of those animals, but for us too. And it lurks here. Look at that, almost bumped into it. You see this little brown smudge in the crook of the grass here? That is a solid mass of ticks. They call them pepper ticks at this stage because they're so small, they're about the size of a ground piece of pepper. And any animal that brushes into this grass here is coated. They get under the skin and they start to suck its blood. At this time of year, this part of Tanzania is a tough place to be wildlife.
He's probably got a kill somewhere and put their kill up a tree. Look at his neck, the muscles in the neck, and that gives them the power of getting up, carrying stuff, heavy stuff, pretty much of the same size, and they will take it up a tree. Because there are so many competitions with other predators like hyenas, lions, and they would come for a drink and go back on their same spot that they kill.
It doesn't need water every single day.
They get it in 2 ways. They get it from the body fluids that they take out of the animal, and then they also, when they're digesting it, they produce metabolic water. So in the process of digesting that food, the hydrogen teams up with the oxygen and produces water, and that can provide them with up to 10% of the water that they need. And that's the difference between dying of thirst and not dying of thirst. So it's really important for these types of animal, that metabolic water. What a view. And what an animal.
Cat, whether it's a lion or a big leopard. Look at the size of this here. You see? So you can tell this is a very fresh track because you've got a vehicle track here, and right on top of that is a big cat. Chris, do you copy? Hey, I've just found some big cat tracks on the road here.
Whereabouts are you relative to the waterhole?
Yeah, we're only about 100 yards away from you on the main track to the north.
Must have been, I would have to assume it had to be early this morning.
I'd like to follow these tracks and see where they go.
Okay, well, I'll see you a bit later. While a predator is in the area, only a handful of species will feel safe at the waterhole, including the largest land mammal on Earth. Elephants are rarely predated by big cats in Tanzania, and this herd also has strength in numbers. Look at that view! Oh my
What? How many?
goodness.
How many are we looking at?
Okay, look, so that's 8 adults, 1, 2, 3, 4 juvenile.
They give away predators all the time. Perhaps there's a lion or a leopard right in this bush. That noise right there. It's an alarm call.
Guinea fowl are a ground-dwelling bird found across Africa. They're known for being highly vocal when there are predators about.
I'll go up there and see what they're cacking at. There's a lion right there.
He's an impressive animal, so they're going to have a comeuppance when they meet him, aren't they?
Absolutely. It takes courage for whoever will see him to hold the ground.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely.
What does calamas mean?
Calamas means sneaky boy.
Sneaky boy?
Yeah, sneaky boy. So it's...
Okay, so it's a fitting name. Sneaky
yeah,
boy.
he's a sneaky boy.
So, calamas has entered the territory of the Mwiba pride. What do we know about them? Well, we know there were a couple of males and a female, and that she might have given birth in the last month. No one's seen any of those cubs yet. But if that is the case, they're likely to be more protective than ever of those cubs and this area. Now, the den is not too far away from the waterhole, so Bob has gone up there to see if calamas made it.
His list is now up to 70. There are still new animals coming, but you have to look harder to find them. I've spotted a direct physical relationship between our HQ here and the waterhole all the way down there, 200 metres away, and it's in the form of mud. Look up here in the apex of the tent. This is the nest of a parasitic wasp, and it's made this little muddy chamber. This is it, she's come in, look at this. Look at that, now what an insect. Now, typically, they like to hunt caterpillars. She'll sting it and paralyse it, critically not kill it, and entomb it in that mud nest whilst it's still alive. Then she'll lay an egg on it, and then she'll go and catch another. And when the nest is filled, she'll plug that little hole, and those eggs will hatch. And they'll eat the non-essential organs first, thus keeping them alive, fresh meat, you see. And then they'll pupate and hatch out. I've got to tell you, these are insect super predators. And the thing is, she's only able to do this because of our waterhole. Because you can't make a nest like that without water, because you need top quality mud. So we provided a resource for elephants, buffalo, all of those birds, and also some really smart insects as well. The parasitic wasp takes the species list to new highs.
We're currently at 71. And the interesting thing is, it's a wide variety of species. You've got small birds all the way up to the great African elephant. And they're all here sharing this water. But already that's really impressive. And it will be really interesting.
Time, temperatures surpass 40 degrees Celsius. Tensions reach boiling point when a new predator swarms the waterhole. Hyenas take over and invade our camp. There's a trail of footprints right down to the opening of my tent.
The species list expands with an unexpected African giant.
To think that we could have made a home for a hippo. Now, come on, I'd put that on my CV.
And for one extraordinary elephant, the waterhole becomes a vital lifeline.
That's a severed trunk.
It's amazing that he's still surviving.
More drama